Yeah, hello friends. Today we will talk about the knapsack problem. So first of all, we'll go through the problem statement. So the problem statement is given a list of items and each item will have some weight and profit, and you are also given a knapsack. Knapsack is nothing but a bag of some capacity W. Now you need to fill that bag with the given items such that the sum of the weights of those items that you choose is less than or equal to W, and you need to maximize the profit. So one thing that you need to keep it in mind is the quantity of each item is 1. So we'll take an example. Suppose the capacity of the knapsack is 7 and you are given these four items A, B, C, D, and each item is having some weight and profit associated with it. So like first of all, if you decide to add A and B in knapsack, so then the weight will be 7 and the profit that you earn will be 7 also. So this is the weight and this is the profit. And if you choose A plus C plus D, then the weight will be 2 plus 3 5 plus 1 6, and the profit will be 3 plus 4 7 plus 2 9. So this is the profit that you have. So now you need to figure out that combination which will maximize your profit. Also you need to figure out the maximum profit. So this is the problem statement. Yeah, one more thing you need to keep it in mind. You can't choose the combination like A plus B plus C, because that will give us the total weight as 5 plus 2 7 plus 3 10, and our bag's capacity is only 7. So this combination you can't choose, right? So you need to choose only those combinations which will give you a weight which is less than or equal to W. Yeah, now we will discuss about the various approaches to solve this problem. So first one is the brute force approach. That is, you need to try all the combinations. For example, in the given problem, we have these four items A, B, C and D. So now for every item, like for every item A, B, C and D, there are two options for A, like either choose A or reject A. Okay, and similar way you have two options for B, two options for C and two options for D, either to take it or reject it. So now there are 16 possibilities, that is 2 raised to power 4 combinations possible. So if there are n items, so there are 2 raised to power n combinations possible. So the complexity of this brute force solution is order of 2 raised to power n, that is an exponential one. So there is one more way that you can analyze this thing. So as there are four items A, B, C and D. So for example, if we say 0 means don't take that item and 1 means take that item. So there are like for example, we'll start with 0 0 0 0. So we are saying we are not taking all these four items, and then we'll go 0 0 0 1. So we are only taking D. So in this way we will reach to 1 1 1 1, that is we are taking all these items. So if we count these numbers, so they are again 16 numbers. So this is another way of analyzing the total number of combinations for that. So now we will discuss about this solution in more detail. Now before writing the recursive solution, we will first of all analyze that how we will write that solution. So now we will have these four weights A, B, C and D. Now for every weight there are two options, either to select that weight or reject that weight. So if I select A, then I will gain a profit of 3, right? Because this weight A gives us profit 3. And now I have the capacity of bag 7, but when I add this item A, so this will take 2 units of weight. and now the capacity remained will be 7 minus 2, 5. Now the capacity remained is 5, and we have these B, C, D 3 items available. So now the total profit that I'll gain after considering A will be 3 plus the total profit gained from these 3 items with a bag of capacity 5. Now if I don't select this item A, then the capacity will remain as it is, that is 7, and the items that now will be available to me are B, C, D, because A I have already rejected. So there are 4 items, there are 3 items B, C, D available, and now I need to take the maximum of these two profits. Here I'll repeat again. So here I already have gained a profit of 3, and now I have a bag of capacity 5 and B, C, D are available. So the profit I'll get is 3 plus the profit from a bag of capacity 5 with B, C, D weights available. And here if I reject A, then I didn't consume any of the weight, so the capacity will remain 7 only, and the weights, again the available weights are B, C, D. So the profit from this and profit from this, one profit is from here, one profit is from here. This is after choosing an item, this is after rejecting an item. So I need to take the maximum of these two. So this is the gist of the recursive solution. Now this diagram I have drawn to show you how the recursion works in this problem. So for example, this is the problem statement that I have written here, and this is the start state. I have items A, B, C, D, still I have not picked anything, and the profit is 0 and the weight is 0. Still I have not put any weight in the bag. Now on the left side, when we move to the left side of this, we are selecting an item, and on the right side we are not selecting that item, so we are rejecting that item. So, and here for example, we select A, then the item remaining are B, C, D, and A is already picked. Now the profit we gained after picking A is 3, and the weight of the bag is now 2, because the item A has weight 2 units. Now again, if we go left here, then we have selected B from B, C, D, and now the items that I have is C and D, and A and B are already picked. Here I have picked already A, so that is why I am on this path, right? So now I've selected B, and now the profit is 3 plus 4, that is 7, and the weight of the bag is now 7. Now if I select C now, because the capacity of bag was 7 and I've already put that much weight in that bag, so I'm not able to select C, right? Because the weight will exceed in that case. So, and on the right side I'm rejecting C. So here I'll say if I reject C, then the only option I have is D now, and A and B are already in my bag, and I have a profit 7 and weight 7. Here I can't select D because my weight is full, so I don't have that much capacity in the bag. And if I reject D, then also I am having only A and B in the bag, and I have this much profit and this much weight. So as you can see, this is the recursion diagram, but at any point of time we have one branch on the stack. So for example, we talk about this branch, say this branch. So from here we have selected A, then we have rejected B, for example, then we have selected C, and then we have selected D. So this branch will be So there are currently four items on the stack till here. So if we talk about the memory usage, so you can say that order of the items is the memory usage of the stack that is being formed by that recursion. So I hope this thing is clear, because the depth of this tree that is being formed is at max the number of items, the bag, the given number of items that are there. So in some cases the recursion will not go that further, because we have some optimization, but in the worst case scenario, I mean, it will go till the maximum depth level. So here I have highlighted this because the profit that is gained is the maximum one. So 9 is the maximum profit that we have gained after picking A, C and D. So I hope this diagram is clear to you. Now we will write the recursive solution of this knapsack problem. So first of all, we'll write a function like find profit. It will return an integer, and for now I am returning, for example, 0, just to remove the compilation error. So it will take like integer array of weight and integer array of for example profit, and it is taking the current item that we are considering, and also it is taking the capacity. I'll say C for capacity. Yeah. And now there are two options. For example, whatever current item we have, either we can choose that item or we can reject that item. Okay, so if I consider the current item, second option is if I don't consider the current item. Okay, now if I consider the current item, so I'll gain some profit, like profit after considering current item. So that will be like some profit I will have. So whatever profit this current item will give me, so that will be P of current item, right? Plus, now I'll again call the recursive function, call it recursively with the same one, and now I'll consider it for next item, and because I have considered this item, so my capacity of the bag will remain C minus weight of this current item, right? So this is how it will look. Now if I don't consider this item, then my profit will be like profit after ignoring current item. That will be because I have ignored the current item, so it will not add any profit to the current profit. So I'll simply call it again with current item plus 1. Now I'll consider the, and my weight, I mean capacity, will remain the same because I have not considered this item. Okay, and final result will be maximum of both these profits. So I'll say math.max profit after considering the item, current item, and profit after ignoring the current item. So this is what we have. Now we'll see the base case. So the base case would be, right, if our C is less than equal to 0, and I mean capacity is less than equal to 0, and our current item is greater than equal to the length of the array, the length of the available items, so we'll return 0, correct? And here, like we are calling it for C minus current item. So if our C minus current weight, capacity minus weight, is less than 0, so there is no point calling it. Okay, so we should only call it for, so we should only call it for like, so this will be profit. First of all, this will be 0, and if my C minus W current item, if this is greater than equal to 0, then only we should call it, right? So I'll just, yeah, so this is what it is. So our base case is this, that our capacity, if it is less than equal to 0, will return 0, and or I should say, and our current item, the current index that we are considering, if it is greater than or equal to the length of the array, so then also we will return 0. And here also I've done some optimization, like I'll call it only if my current weight and the capacity of the bag, if the current weight can be accommodated in that bag, so then only I will call this. So this is the recursive solution. I hope this is clear to you. So now we'll see how to recognize the overlapping sub problem in this solution. So as you can see, I have drawn the diagram how the recursion is being flown, as I shown you earlier as well. So here I have taken the same variables that are being taken in the code itself. Okay, so as you can see, there is one variable called capacity, that is in starting it is 7, and there is a variable name called index. So in the code, if you see, I have taken the variable name as current item. So this is same as index basically. So now we'll start with this initial state. Now on every time we go left, so this means we are selecting the item at that particular index. Okay, and every time we go right, so that means we are rejecting the item at that particular index for which we are calling this. So now we are making a recursive call to the same function. So when we are going left, we will consider this item at index 0, that is A, and its weight is 2. So now the capacity of the bag that is remaining is 5. Okay, because initially it was 7, now 7 minus 2 is 5, because A is already kept in the bag now. And now we will call this function again for index 1. Now for here we have like selected A, and here we are rejecting A. So if you see on the right side, the recursion goes like capacity will remain same because A is not considered and it is called for next index. Okay, now if we talk here this is the initial state, and we call recursion here after selecting the item at index 1, that is here B is selected. So B has a weight 5, so we have put now B into the bag, so the capacity of the bag remains is 0. So now this recursion will not go further because we have already achieved the capacity of 0 and it will return. So this is how the recursion is working. So if you will see, like whenever I call the recursion from here to here, so the profit that I gain after selecting A is 3. So I'll say 3 plus now the profit that is returning from this recursive call. So I'll add that into 3. Now in the similar way, the profit that I'll be getting from this recursive call, now I'll take the max of these two and then the final profit value will be returned. So in this recursion calls, I have highlighted these two because they are called for the same capacity and index. So if so they are representing the same sub problems. Here also it is being calculated for capacity 2 and index 3, and again it is being repeated here. So if we would have cached it here in some collection, if we would have cached this value, so there is no need to calculate it again. So these branches could have skipped if we would have cached this value here. So that cached value should be used here as well. So we will see how we can cache these values in the code also. Yeah, I hope this diagram is clear to you. As we discussed here, we need to store the values based upon capacity and index, because if that stored structure contains the value at given capacity and given index, so next time if a call comes with same capacity and index, we can return from that data structure the same value that was calculated before. So we need not calculate the value again. So let's see how we can implement that in the code. Yeah, so here we can take a two-dimensional array to store of capacity and index basically. So I'll say integer. So here I'll say cache, because we are storing, so it will be used as a cache, so I named it cache, and length is so here this is the length of the total items, and then we have capacity plus 1. Okay, and while calling this function find profit, we'll also pass this structure to the array, and here also I'll, in the method signature, I'll add this, and while calling here also I should add this, and here also we will add this. Yeah, looks good. And here we will check if there is a value in this cache for current index and the capacity. If this is not equal to null, then we will return this value. So we will return the same value, and here also after calculating the max, we will store it in the cache itself. So we'll copy it from here and we'll store it in cache, and we'll return the same value. Okay, I hope this restructuring of code is clear to you, right? Let's see why it is giving yeah, so here it should be 0. So because in the starting we will, in the starting state the current item will be 0. Okay, I hope this restructuring is clear to you. Yeah, now we will look at the bottom up approach to solve this problem. So if you see, previously we have seen this solution wherein we were caching the value. So this approach is called recursion with memoization, or it is also called top-down approach. Okay, so if we look at the array that we have used in this and analyze it further, so this is an array wherein we have the current item and the capacity. Basically, the current item is the item or the index that we are currently considering, and C is the capacity which we are calculating for different capacities. Like for example, in the starting we want to calculate for capacity 7. As you see in our question, we want to calculate the maximum profit for capacity 7. So in this also we start from 7, but we started dividing our problems into, like, sometimes we consider the weight 2 and then we start calculating for capacity 5, and then we consider some weight of amount 1, then 5 minus 1 is 4, then we start calculating it for capacity 4. This is how we are calculating. So we are going from top to down manner. Okay, now we want to go fill this array in bottom up fashion. So first of all, I'll show you how you can define the recurrence relation here. So if you see, if you call this cache as a dp array, for example dp of ij, if I say it, okay, so dp of ij will be, so the meaning of dp ij is I is the index of the item that I am now calculating the maximum profit for, and j is the capacity that I am considering here. Okay, now this will be the maximum of, if I consider I, index I, so I will already get a profit of pi, right, plus, and if I consider this I, so I need, now the capacity of the bag remaining is j minus w of I, right? This is the capacity of the bag remaining. So now this will be the pi plus dp of I minus 1 and j minus wi, and this is when I'm considering the ith index. Okay, item at ith index. If I don't consider this item at ith index, then the profit I can earn is dp of I minus 1 and j, right? This is the, so my capacity will remain same in that case, but here my capacity will be decreased by the weight of I. So I need to look back. I mean, this I'm hoping that I have already calculated. So because I am filling this array in the bottom up fashion, so the previous values I already have, and now I'm calculating the next values. So when I'm calculating dp of ij, so I had already calculated dp of I minus 1 j minus wi, or I have already calculated dp of I minus 1 j, and it will be more clear to you when you see how I'm filling this array, basically two-dimensional array. Now I will show you how to fill this two-dimensional array. Yeah, now to understand this, we will start filling the 2D array. So first of all, we will create a table with the rows equal to the number of items that we have, and with columns equal to the capacity plus 1. Okay, so here the capacity is 7, so we will create an array of with columns 8 and with rows 4. Okay, so let's create that. Yeah, so now we have drawn this table. Now let's start filling this table. So before filling this table, just wanted to show you the representation of one of the points in this table. So for example, we consider this cell. So filling this cell means here the value that will be filled here represents the maximum profit earned after we have a bag of capacity 4 and we have these 3 items available at index 0, 1 and 2. So at index 0 it is A, B, C. So this cell represents the maximum profit earned after we have a bag of capacity 4 and we have these 3 items A, B, C available. Okay. Similarly, this item represents, this cell represents, we have a bag of capacity 6 and we have A, B, C, D, these 4 items available. So this cell represents our answer, right? Because we have a bag of capacity 7 and we have these A, B, C, D, 4 items available. So here we will fill the maximum profit after seeing all these four items. Okay, so we'll start from the first cell, I mean this. So we'll start filling row by row. I mean for each item we will fill this table. So we'll start with the item A, which has a weight 2 and profit that can be earned by this item A is 3. Okay, this is the weight, this is the profit. Okay, so if we have a bag of capacity 0 for this cell, if we have a bag of capacity 0, so the profit can be earned as 0. So for the first column everything will be 0. Okay, now this we will fill in the starting itself. This first column can be filled in the starting itself before even considering this item A. So now for this cell we have a bag of capacity 1 and we have a weight of 2 units that we need to, so that can't be accommodated in this bag. So we will fill 0 here because the profit will be 0. Again for the next cell, now we have a weight bag of capacity 2 and there is a, now this item has weight 2, so yeah, this can be filled. So the profit will be 3 after filling this bag. So the first row can be filled with 3 because here we have only one item A available and the maximum profit that we can get after this capacity. I mean till this capacity we can't put this weight into the bag, right? Because the capacity less than 2 will be filled with zeros and capacity more than 2 will be filled with the profit that will be that is the profit of this weight A. Okay, now we'll move to the next item, that is B. It is having weight 5 and profit value 4. Okay, now for the first cell, if we see here we can't consider this weight B. Now for before filling every cell we need to decide whether we can consider this item or not, right? As we have discussed here, so this is for not considering the item, this is for considering the item. So we need to take the maximum of both of these. Okay, now if I'll check whether I can consider B. So I can't because the weight of this item B is more than the capacity of the bag, right? Here the capacity of the bag is 1 and this weight can't be accommodated in this bag of capacity 1 because it has a weight 5. Okay, now if I don't consider this, so the maximum profit I can get after rejecting this item will be coming from the cell above it. So it is 0, right? You can also think about this formula. So this is dp I minus 1. I minus 1 means when you are calculating it for ij, so and if you are not considering this item at index I, so you need to look in the cell above, that is I minus 1 j with same capacity. So if I am filling it for capacity 1, so and I can't consider this weight P, this item B, so I need to check a cell above, so that is 0, so I'll fill 0 here because yeah. And for the next cell also I can't fill B here because the weight is so till this point, till the time, so for bag of capacity 5 I can put this item B, but prior to that I can't put this item B, so I'll copy the values from the previous cells only. So here I'll copy 3, 3 and 3, right? Now comes to this cell 5. Here I can put this put this item B. So after putting this item B, the profit that I will get is 4 plus, now the remaining capacity of the bag after putting this item is 0, right? So I'll go the row above and look for the capacity zeros, that is 0. So 4 plus 0 is 4. And if I don't consider this item B, so the profit that I will get is just the cell above, that is 3. So 3. So maximum of 4 and 3 is 4. So I'll put 4 here. Now for this cell, now we have a bag of capacity 6, and yes, B can be accommodated. So after putting B, the profit I'll get is 4, that is the profit value of item B, plus the remaining capacity after putting this item is 1. So I need to go up and check that for capacity 1, what is the maximum profit that I can get. So that is 0. So 4 plus 0 is after considering this item B for capacity 6. Now if I don't consider this item B for capacity 6, then this value in the cell above will be there. So this value 3. So in that case 3, and maximum of 4 and 3 is 4 again. Now if I go to, now I reached at a bag of capacity 7. Now if I don't consider this, if I consider this item, so the profit I'll get is 4 again, plus the capacity remaining is 7 minus 5, that is 2. Now I'll go the row above and see for capacity 2, the profit I can earn is 3. So this is 4 plus 3, 7. And if I don't consider this item at all, then the profit I'll get is 3, right? So maximum of 7 and 3 is again 7. Okay. Now we will start filling the item C. So it has a weight 3 and profit value 4. Okay. Now till weight 3, till bag of capacity 3, I can fill the values from above itself. So here it is 0, here it is 3. Now comes the bag of capacity 3. Yes, I can accommodate this item, and after putting this item, so I can get a profit of 4, and the capacity remaining after putting this item is 0. So I'll go the cell above and see for 0, the profit value is 0, 4 plus 0. And if I don't consider this item, then I need to consider this value above, just above this row. So that is 3. So 4 and 3, the maximum is 4. Again for this cell, if I put this item, then I'll get 4 plus the remaining capacity after putting this item is 4 minus 3, 1. So I'll go one row above and see for one capacity, the value is 0. So 4 plus 0. And now after not considering this item, the value is 3. So 4 and 3, maximum is again 4. Now I'll go to this capacity 5 thing. If I consider this item, so the profit I'll get is 4 plus the capacity remaining is 2, because this item has weight 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. So I'll consider this 3. So it will be 4 plus 3, that is 7. And if I don't consider this, so the value just a cell above, that is 4, that is 7. I just want to explain it one more time. If I consider this item C for this cell, then the profit I'll be getting is 4 after considering this item C, plus the remaining capacity of this bag is, now after putting this item, is 3, right? 6 minus 3 is 3. So I'll go a row above and see for the capacity 3, maximum profit I can get is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. And if I don't consider this item, so this is the profit value I should consider. So maximum of 4, 7 and 4 is again 7. Now for this cell also, like if I consider this item, so I'll get 4 plus 7 minus 3 is 4. I should go here, so 4 plus 3, and if I don't consider this, then also I'll get 7. So maximum of these two is again 7. Now for this cell, now we are filling it for item D, which has a weight 1 and profit value 2. Now till this weight I have already filled 0. Now if I consider this, so I'll get a profit of 2 and the remaining capacity is 0. For 0, this is already 0. So 2 plus 0 if I consider this, and 0 if I don't consider this. Okay, so that will be 2. Now for this cell, if I consider this item, I'll get 2 plus just a value of this value I should consider, because the remaining capacity is 1 now. So I'll go a row above and see for capacity 1. For capacity 1, that is 0. So 2 plus 0, and if I don't consider this, so it will give me 3. So maximum is 3. Now this also, I hope you are now clear about the concept, so we'll fill this faster. So this is, if I consider this, so this will be 2 plus 3, and if I don't consider this, it will be just the cell above, that is 4. So 5, 4, maximum is 5. Here also, if I consider this, so it will be 2 plus 4, 6, and if I don't, then it will be 4. So 6 plus 4, 6. Then if I consider this item D, then the value will be 2 plus 4, 6. If I don't consider this, that will be 7. So 7, 6, maximum is 7. So if I consider this item D, then it will be 2 plus 7, 9. And if I don't consider this, it will be 7. So 9 and 7, maximum is 9. Here also, if I consider this, the profit will be 2 plus 7, that is 9. And if I don't consider this, it will be 7. So again, the profit is 9. I hope now this is clear to you, because this is the maximum profit that we will gain after seeing all these items, and we have a bag of capacity 7. So this is our answer. Yeah, so before jumping into the code, one more thing we would like to consider here is, so we have calculated the maximum profit 9. Okay, but if we also want to calculate that what all items are responsible for contributing to this maximum profit, so that we will see how we can calculate using this table. So now we'll start from this maximum profit. Okay, so now we will see that this profit value is more than the value in the row above. So that means that we would have considered this item, because that is the reason why this value is more than the value above. As this value 9 is more than the value in the row above, that means this item is being considered. Otherwise, what we were doing is we were just copying the value from the previous cell. Okay, copying the value from the previous cell means that after not considering this item, we are getting more profit. Okay, that is why we were copying from the above cell. But since the value is increasing from the above cell, that means this item is being considered. So D is considered. Now we'll see the weight of this item is 1. Now the capacity of the bag is 7 here. Okay, at this point. Now we will subtract the weight, that is 7 minus 1, 6. Now we will look for the capacity 6 in the row above. So here also we will see that this value is more than this cell's value is more than the value in the cell above. That means this item is also considered. Okay, otherwise we would have copied the value from this above cell itself if this was not considered. Okay, now we will see that now these two items are considered. Now the weight value is 3, so we will subtract the weight from this 6, that is, now we'll go to 3, so we'll go to this cell. Now we'll see that the value is same as the cell above. That means this item was not considered in this calculation. Okay, in making the profit maximum, this item was not considered. Now we will move to the cell above. Because this item was not considered, that means this will not consume any capacity in the back, so capacity will remain same. That is why we will just move to the cell above. Now this is the first cell that we'll have, so and the value is more than 0, so that means this was considered. So we have considered A, C, D. And if you want to tally also, so the profit value is 3 plus 4 7 plus 2 9. That is how we have achieved a maximum profit of 9. So I hope this explanation how we figured out the item which are responsible for contributing the maximum profit is clear to you. So now let's look at the code. Yeah, let's now write the code for the knapsack bottom-up approach. So in this, first of all, we need to take that 2D array. So if you see here, we have taken a 2D array of size number of items multiply by the capacity plus 1. So here also we'll take an array, I call it dp, and its size will be length and capacity plus 1, right? So the size. Now for the first column I filled this with zeros because with capacity 0 there is no profit. So here also what I'll do is I'll say here I need to fill the first column, right? So our column value will be fixed and our rows will be varying. So I'll say int I equal to 0, I is less than w dot length I plus plus, and this will be initialized by 0. So the first column will be 0, right? And then we will need to fill the first row. So for filling the first row, I need to start filling it from the weight of the item, right? Before that it will be 0. So starting from the weight of the item, it will be filled with the profit value of the first weight. So if I'll say dp of, so first row with k will be, so I'll start from first item's weight, right? So and I'll say yeah, so this will fill the first row with the profit of the first element. And now we'll traverse over the array C. So first we are moving from first item, and this is J0, J is less than equal to C, J plus plus. Now we need to say, for example, profit after considering, for every say profit item considering item, profit after considering item, profit without considering item. So profit after considering item will be dp of I minus 1. So that will be profit from the current item that we are getting, and profit after so the capacity remaining will be J minus Wi, right? And that maximum profit I'll pick from the DP array that is already calculated. So this is the same formula I am that we have discussed here, pi plus dp of I minus 1 J minus Wi. And profit without considering, this will be just the row above. Just the row above will be I minus 1 J, right? And our dp of ij would be maximum of profit after considering item and profit without considering item, right? So this will be, now this should not be negative, so I can put a check here, right? If greater than equal to 0, then only you need to update this, right? Otherwise this will remain 0, and we will return the last column, basically this cell. So we will say dp of w dot length minus 1 comma c. So this will be returned. Let's see. So first of all, we will made the first column as 0 and first row filled with the profit starting from the weight of the first item, and then we start reversing for the first item till the end, and for each capacity starting from 0 till C we are considering the profit values, and yeah, I think that should work. Let's run it. Yeah, that is giving us the profit 9. So I hope this code is clear to you. If we discuss the time complexity of this solution, so the time complexity will be number of items multiplied by the capacity. Okay, because for each item we are running for the each capacity value, so that is the number of item multiplied by the capacity. And the space complexity will also remain the same, because we have taken an array, two-dimensional array of number of items multiplied by the capacity plus 1, so it will be n into c plus 1. So, and if you talk about the time complexity of the recursion with memorization case, so the time complexity will again be number of items multiplied by the capacity, because that many sub problems we can have. Okay, because we have taken a cache of number of items multiplied by the capacity size. And if we talk about the time complexity in the space complexity, that will also be number of items multiplied by the capacity for the array that we have taken, and plus the number of the stack size that is formed by the recursion. So the stack size will be maximum size of the stack will be of order of the number of items. So that space complexity will be added in that recursion memorization solution. So I hope this time complexity and space complexity is clear to you. So now we have written the code for calculating the maximum profit. Let's now write the code for calculating the indexes of the items which are responsible for contributing to that maximum profit. So as I already explained you here, so we will start from the last cell of this DP array. So I'll write a method, for example, print So this will print the indexes and it will take DP array, okay, and from here I'll pass the TP array. Okay, and now we'll see, first of all we'll say current profit. Current profit is dp of dp dot length minus 1, and we can pass the capacity also. Yeah, so this will be our capacity. So this will give us the last cell value, right? And we will have some like current weight, or you can say current capacity. So your current capacity is C, for example, and now you start traversing from this to this to this to this. So from now you'll say int I equal to W, so take a weight and profit array as well. So you will have W dot length, so that will be array. Yeah, so you'll have weight dot length minus 1, I is greater than equal to 0, I minus minus, so that is what it will be. And now you will check if your current profit is not equal to the cell above. That means dp of I minus 1 and your current capacity. If it is not equal, then what you will do is you will now update the current profit value. So now your current profit will be profit minus equal to profit from this ith, and your current capacity will be reduced by the weight of the current item. Okay, anything else you need to update? And you will also print this, because this item is responsible for contribution to the maximum profit. Okay, and this you will traverse till 1, because here you are doing I minus 1, so it can go negative. And after so here we can say int I equal to 0, and because we need this I value outside the loop, that is why I did so. If I if dp of I and current capacity, so if I'll say that I reach to the first row and still my current capacity is if my current capacity is greater than 0, okay, then I should say that I should print I, right? Because if I reached at this point and I equal to 0 and still my current capacity is greater than 0, so that means this item is also responsible for contribution to the maximum profit. So this is, I think this should work. Let's double check that first. First of all, I'll take a DP array, the last cell's profit, then the capacity is C, then I start traversing from the last till the, and then my current profit is not equal to the profit, then only I am decrementing the profit capacity and printing that value. So I think that should work. So I will just remove this is out for now, because we are only interested in that is out. Yeah, so let's run this code. Yeah, so it is giving us 320, right? So 320 are there. So if you see here also, our answers are 3, 2 and 0, because here we have tick marked these. So after considering these 3, 2 and 0 indexes items, we are able to achieve this maximum profit 9. Okay, if you tally this also, 3 plus 4 7 plus 2 9. So this validates our code. Yeah, I hope this code is clear to you. Now in this approach we have used a two-dimensional array. Now let us see that if we can optimize the space complexity. Now to analyze this, let's analyze how we fill these values in this table. So whenever we were filling any value, for example this value, whenever we are filling this value, so we are considering the value just above and also the value with 7 minus 3, that is 4. So this value we are considering. So we are taking the maximum of this value, that is 7, and this value, that is 3 plus 4 7 again. So this came from 3 plus 4, that is 7. So 3 is the this value and 4 came from here. Okay, so maximum of these two is again 7. So to fill this value we have consulted these two. So if you see, pick up any cell, you will observe that to fill that cell we just need to consult the previous row. So whenever we are filling this row, we are considering the values from the previous row, or we need to consult the values from the previous row. So we just need to consult the previous state of this array. So it is not required to take the two-dimensional array. We can simply store the values in one-dimensional, because we are just taking the previous state. So previous state can be stored, just previous state can be stored in the single dimensional array. And now we will see that how we can achieve that using a single dimensional array. Okay, so here I have taken a single dimensional array, and now we will first of all look for item A. So for item A, I can simply fill this array with capacity 0. So this single dimensional array is also of size capacity plus 1. Now for capacity 0 and for item A, the profit can be 0, because with capacity 0 A can't be accommodated, so the profit will always remain 0. Now A's weight is 2, so till 2 we will be filling zeros. This will be similar to this array. I mean, how we filled the values in this array, similar way we will be filling this array as well. So here also 3, 3. Okay, now when we consider filling this item B, or let's now take another example. For example, now we are filling for item D. So we can fill that in any order. So order doesn't matter in this case. So you will see some videos on YouTube wherein they have first of all sorted these items on the basis of weight. So that is not required. You can fill this table in any order of the weights. Okay. So first of all, if we see that now we will need to fill this for D, that is having weight 1 and profit 2. Okay, now if we start filling it, if we start from left to right, now see what is the problem you will encounter in this case. Now for 0, your value will be 0, so that will be overridden in this case, but I am making another just to show you the next state, I will be writing it here, but that will be, these values will be overridden in the same array itself. Okay, so now for this weight 1, the value will be either we need to consider the previous value. The previous value was 0. Okay, the previous value was 0 and the new value will be so if I don't consider this item D, then the value will be 0, right? And if I consider this value item D, the value will be 2 plus profit gained after subtracting this weight. So after I subtract the weight from this capacity, that will be 0. So 2 plus 0. So maximum of these two I need to fill here. So I'll fill here 2. Okay. Now I consider this item D here, if you notice. That is why the value has got increased from 0 to 2. This will be overridden here. Okay. So now this value will be 2 basically. Okay. Now if I see the next item, now the previous value is 3. That is, after not considering this D, we are getting 3. And after I consider this, so I'll say after I consider this, then the profit will be 2 plus this capacity minus the weight, that is 1, 2 minus 1. So I'll look at this value. Now if I look at this value, this will be 2 plus 2, 4. So this will be overridden to 4, but that is wrong, because now we have considered this item D twice, which is not allowed in this problem. This is 0, 1 knapsack. We have the quantity of each item as 1, and we can't consider this item twice. So once we consider this item here, and now we are again considering this item here. So that is wrong. So that is the reason why we need to fill this array in the reverse order, from right to left, rather than filling it from left to right manner, because we don't want to use the values, updated values, which we have filled in the same iteration for filling the next values. So that is the reason why we need to fill this array from the right to left manner. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Okay, now we will write the code to populate this one dimensional array. And one more thing I just want to add here is, so there were two problems that we were solving. One was to find the maximum profit, and the other was to find the items which are responsible for contribution to that maximum profit. So by using the single dimensional array, you can easily figure out the maximum profit. But the other problem you can't solve by using a single dimensional array, because in the second problem, you were referring to the older states as well. Like, for knowing the number of items which are responsible, you were referring to all the values. So you will start from here, then you will go beyond that, then you go here, then you will go here. So you will referring to all the previous states, but here you have only stored the previous state, not all the previous ones. So that is the reason why the second problem, to figure out the items, cannot be solved by this single dimensional array. You can only retrieve the maximum profit value. So I hope this also is clear to you. Now we'll move to the code. Now let's start writing the knapsack with the memory optimization. So if you notice that in this we have taken a one dimensional array of size, capacity plus 1. So we will do the same in the code as well. And now we will say, like, we will traverse for each items. And now for capacity, we will start in the reverse direction, as I already explained. So we'll say j is greater than or equal to 0, j minus minus. So this is how, and we'll say dp of I is equal to max of. Now Here also if I don't consider this item I, so my profit will be dp of I, and if I consider this, so my profit will be profit earned from I plus profit that I will earn from excluding this weight. Okay, so this is what, and my return value will be dp of C, right, the last value that I will have. And one more thing, so this j minus wi should, so minus j minus wi should be greater than equal to 0. That is, you can also say j is greater than equal to wi. So yeah, this thing. I hope now this code is clear to you. Let's run this code once. Yeah, there is some problem here. J, yeah, this should be dp of j equal to, yeah, because we are filling it for capacity, not for the taxes. And now it should give us the right answer. Yeah, so I hope this is clear to you. I know the video is a bit long, and if you have come this far, so I hope you have learned something new. And without taking much of your time, I just want to give you an exercise. So in this knapsack problem, we have taken a single dimensional array of size capacity plus 1 to solve this, right? So if there is a capacity range of 10 raised to power 9, so if your capacity is from 1 to 10 raised to power 9, then you don't have that privilege of taking that long array. So now how will you solve that problem? So other constraints are also updated. So you can see like the number of items are from 1 to 100. Your capacity is between 1 to 10 raised to power 9. And each of the weights is also from 1 to capacity. And your profits are also from 1 to 1000. So try solving that and give your comments in the comment section below. And I'll cover this in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.